Hello, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of BitLab Live. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much. I am Andrew. I am happy to be back. I was out last week. Yes, I was. We made do. Falco and I had a decent show, I think. That's excellent. One might say you successfully. Yes, excellent. So welcome to week number 4. We are already at. We've been doing for a month. Today, before we get started, for those of you who are brand new to littleBits, littleBits is a library of modular electronics that all snap together with magnets. So very quickly, you take some power, you take a slider, snap, and you take a light, snap. Watch this. That's it. I just built something. So everything that we do snaps together that simply with magnets. And so the BitLab is a platform where we're actually calling out to the community at large to develop your own modules. What prototype modules did you come up with? You want to see us build and make. And so we're calling for your submissions, and then if the community votes on them and you gather enough votes, we will actually manufacture and sell, and you, the developer, make a cut. But the biggest thing that we need from everybody watching now, if you don't yet have your brilliant module idea ready to go, please log on to littlebits.cc/bitlab and please go vote, because every single developer. It's election day. It is election day. You must vote. I even have my I voted sticker. See, you can have one of those too. So we're asking you to please go vote. Because the developers need your guys' support, and nothing will get made without it. Very true. What do we have on store? Well, today we have we have a few things. We have a great guest. We've got Matt Johnson from BareConductive, who's going to be talking with us about the touch sensor module that him and the team at BareConductive have designed. It's very cool, so we'll give a little demo. And we've got some open hardware news and some events, some exciting news from inside littleBits HQ. Yeah, so I guess we will do a little recap from last week. So as Andrew said, we had a show last week, Falco and I. We had Greg Gage from Backyard Brains in the show. He talked a bit about the EMG spiker, this guy here, complete with electrodes. We talked about squids, the mind of squids. I missed a lot. Fun and informative. And we also had a trivia giveaway for the best question. So hit us with Ask BitLab at Twitter, #AskBitLab. And the best questions You'll win a prize.
Yeah, they'll win a prize.
And I actually have the questions that have been submitted so far from last week, and we're going to be doing the exact same competition. So, please, if you don't want to ask questions here within the Hangout, please go to Twitter. Please ask. We will give you points. That's
pretty easy.
It's pretty easy.
Oh, also last week we talked a little bit about Halloween. We had some great projects coming in, and people tagging their submissions with hashtag tricks with bits. We had some very cool projects coming in. One notably, there was a pumpkin, a cloud-controlled pumpkin that would spew Skittles out of his mouth when you tweeted at it. That was created by the cool folks at Saatchi and Saatchi for their pumpkin inter-office pumpkin contest, and they won first prize in that contest.
That's very cool.
Little bits can take you places for sure.
That's very cool. Why not M&M's though?
I don't know. Good question.
V2.
Yes.
V2 is a big hardware change. So before we get on to some HQ news and some goings on around here, I want to formally introduce Matt Johnson from BareConductive, who is graciously joining us from London, if I believe.
That's right.
Excellent. And so Matt is here, and Matt will be showcasing the awesome touch sensor that he and BareConductive have built. So
what's the weather like in London there, Matt?
It is dark and rainy. We're now subject to like a 4:30 sunset, so it's pretty deeply depressing lately. But at least we can get a lot of work done.
Okay. All right.
True.
Optimism.
That's right.
Keep the lights on.
True. So Matt, why don't you tell the folks first of all a little bit about BareConductive, and hopefully you can show us a few things.
Yeah, sure. So we're based in London, as we just found out. Although I know it doesn't sound like it. I'm originally from the U.S. But BareConductive is a company that makes electrically conductive materials and recently started making hardware as well. So some people might know us for our conductive paint. Make sure it's aimed in the right direction there. This is literally just a jar of conductive paint. So anything that you want to paint or dip or spray, you can start to turn into an interface. So the reason that we're, I guess, talking today is because we see our paint as a way to transform all sorts of different objects into interactive things, and that's really the kind of core of our business. As I said, we recently started doing hardware. Last year we launched this, which is the touchboard. So when you kind of combine the paint and the touchboard together, you get some pretty wild outputs. Early on in the touchboard process, Paul and I started talking about all the cool stuff, and then we eventually came to this idea of, maybe we can make some sort of bit out of this once we knew that the BitLab was going to happen. And so, yeah, I guess that's the short story.
And for those of you who don't know, the module itself right now is in production, and you can actually log on and reserve yours now because there will be a wait list because of all the wonderful amendments that's come out. So if you log on to the BitLab, in addition to voting for all the other modules that are up to vote, you'll see the special in production section, and you can click on reserve now and enter the numbers.
Can you give us a little demo of the module there, Matt?
Yeah, no problem. It's probably much more interesting if I, let's see, I'm going to aim my computer down here. So, okay, what we've got is here we have a pad of paint, right? So I just took a jar of paint and I painted a circle. It's really straightforward. It's just a piece of paper. It's connected to a crocodile clip. And then here we've got the touch sensor. So the touch sensor can accept connections in a bunch of different ways. I'm using a crocodile clip, but you could actually paint directly to it, or you can put a little screw through it and like tie a wire to it if you wanted to do that. And then we've got a bar graph, and then I have a number sensor or number module here. And as my hand gets to that pad of paint, the bar graph starts to change. I don't know if you can see the resolution in the camera, but it's actually quite sensitive. So here I get 1 LED, here I get 2, here I get 3, 4, 5. You can see that the number is changing as well. So it's pretty amazing that my hand's probably about 6 inches away from this pad of paint. But the coolest part is, definitely the coolest part, is the fact that it works underneath the table as well. So this is just a plywood table, right? There's no tricks, it's just a piece of paper. Hand underneath the table, you can see that it's giving me that full strength signal because the table itself isn't conductive, which is totally wild. So I guess that means if you wanted to, I don't know, put your project behind glass, let's say, then you could trap it like that. You could essentially you can interact with your littleBits project without even touching it. Is probably the shortest way to say it.
Yeah, no, that's really great. We did. We would have loved to have this module a couple of years ago. We did a project with the MoMA Design Store. That's where this Ferris wheel behind me comes from. And so we were trying to figure out ways of having the people outside the store to be able to interact, but there was always that glass barrier. But now with touch sensor module, we'll put things behind glass and interact with them without having really needing to touch them and get really up close with them. So it's really cool, quite exciting for that as an addition to the library.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say we're quite excited about it too. It's like for us the process of playing with littleBits just as people, right? Just as littleBits users, and then to build our own bit, and now to start to literally connect it together with the stuff that we do is quite exciting. It does some pretty wild stuff with the synth kit. So.
Excellent. And a follow-up question. Why do you guys call them crocodile clips when over here we call them alligator clips?
Because their jaw hinges from the bottom. Isn't that the difference? I'm going to be slaughtered for this, but isn't that the difference between alligators and crocodiles? I'm totally making this up, but actually it is true that
I'm just going to speculate. I'm going to speculate science as well, and say that I thought that crocodiles have longer snouts, maybe snouts, but I did not think that crocodiles were indigenous to the United Kingdom. So that's the curiosity.
They are not. I think the cost of an American living in England. My accent hasn't changed, but my vocabulary has become totally screwed up. I even threw in to be honest with you, when I was explaining the distance of the sensor, I wanted to say, look at that, it's about 20, 30 centimeters away, but then I thought, wait, no, I got to do the translation. It's very important, 6 inches.
Well, we have an international audience, so feel free to use the parlance of your surroundings. Well, that's great. That's informative. I think we're all pretty excited about the module. Hopefully, we'll be able to have that sometime in the early part of next year out for sale for the fine folks in the Bitsters.
Absolutely, and I know that we are rapidly working with Matt and company to help him find that design, so that we can get it out to you as soon as possible. Cool. Well, Matt, we're going to have.
No, I just wanted to say I can't wait to see what everyone does with it. So it's very exciting.
Very much so. So we're going to have you stick around for a little bit, Matt, if you don't mind. So that if anybody has any questions that come up, we can get them live and on the air. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Awesome. Okay, so I know that we also have some open hardware news. This is actually a follow-up from a few weeks ago.
True.
So what open hardware news do you have to share with us, Paul?
Well, thanks for asking, Andrew. On our very first show, had the news about calls for board members for the Open Source Hardware Association, and they have announced the board members. So we've got Tony Botkenstein, QA engineer at SparkFun, on the board. Open Hardware Association. Michael Weinberg, a lawyer, VP at Public Knowledge, done some work down in Washington for the Maker Movement. And Rose Swan Meacham, a recent grad of ITP here at NYU, my alma mater. And she's kind of coming from a nonprofit side of education background. So a nice, diverse group of folks on the board of the Open Hardware Association.
Oh, we only have 3. I was implementing the bar graph.
Just the 3.
Well,
just the 3.
Maybe there will be 2 more at some other point in time, just so I can move the slide all the way.
Another bit of news from last week, quickly. We had 2 more modules that made it to 1,000 votes. One of them being the oscilloscope by Gabriel. Awesome module, super excited to have this. Really fun with the synth kit. You can see the waveforms, filtering, all kinds of stuff. Very cool. And then also the bleep drum. So both of these reached 1,000 votes. Another very cool module to use with the synth kit. You can create your own drum loops and patterns. And so, yeah, we'll be working with both of them and kind of getting the modules ready for production.
That's true. And actually, at Maker Faire, I had all 4 of these. So, Matt, your touch sensor included. I had the EMG spiker bit attached to my muscles, and then I had that and the touch sensor both plugged into 2 separate bleep drums, and then all that was being output to a speaker that was preceded by an oscilloscope. Man, it was kind of crazy. Somebody has it on film somewhere. I don't know who it is though.
So that's big news. That's big news. So we've got a couple more BitLab success stories, we'll say.
Yeah.
On their way.
Absolutely.
On their way.
These are. It's incredibly exciting to see the first batch of modules up for vote make it all the way through. So big congrats to the 3 of those, as well as all the supporters. And just so you know, if you have supported it, you've already effectively entered yourself into the waitlist of that module. So we'll be emailing you out. Those get made sometime soon. We will email you the second that they get made available.
Okay. We have an event coming up,
yes.
NYC Resistor.
Yes, we do. So 1 week from tomorrow, we will be holding a meetup/workshop specifically built around the BitLab and the hardware development kit at NYC Resistor, which is out in Brooklyn. They have an Eventbrite page that they set up specifically for our event that we will be sharing around. So if you are interested, we encourage you very much so to please get your tickets, because I know space is limited for them. But we held one 2 weeks ago at Alpha One Labs, also out in Brooklyn, which was a lot of fun. We got some really interesting conversations and some bit ideas that came out of it. And so we're excited to continue our workshop extravaganza.
Indeed. Come on out, say hello. So we also have some news about Radio Shack. So we've been kind of incrementally getting into their network of stores, and so this week we announced that we're in 1,500 Radio Shack stores across the USA. So go to Radio Shack, check out littleBits. You know, add to your library if you're new and you're just joining us. Pick up a kit, get involved. Maybe you'll build your own module and submit it to the BitLab, and you too could have a product with your name on it hanging on the shelves in Radio Shack. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool if you think about it. I mean, a lot of people here, especially at littleBits and in the makerspace, probably spend portions of their time wandering through the aisles of Radio Shack buying components, and it's personally rewarding to think that you had a very significant role in creating something that now lines the shelf. And so, for those who are interested in learning more, head on over to Radio Shack's website, and they've built out an awesome page just dedicated to educating everybody about littleBits. So we're very, very, very excited about that. One other sort of littleBits HQ piece of news We recently, very recently, just announced some reduced pricing on pretty much everything.
That's very exciting.
So we are it's very exciting, very humbling to be able to offer discounted pricing. It just means that more and more people are going to buy more and more modules and inspire yet another round of innovators and makers, and tinkers, and builders. With the one of the goals to ultimately design something for the BitLab. It's really exciting, and so thanks to our operations team, marketing team, and everybody else who made that happen. It's a very big undertaking for any of you who have been involved in the process of manufacturing.
All right. Well, we were a little chatty today with Matt. Some good conversation.
Indeed.
I think we're just about out of time. It's about out of time.
We'll stick around for maybe another minute or so if anybody has any last-minute questions for us or for Matt. But just a reminder, trivia this week, we are looking for your best question. So please head on over to Twitter, tweet at us. We are at littleBits, but make sure to use the hashtag AskBitLab.
Winner gets an HDK.
Winner gets an HDK.
An HDK.
And then you will get your name. Well, it's not that big, but we could put your name on this little trophy. We have a label maker. We'll do that. So Matt, we want to thank you for staying around late. I know it is on the later side of things over there across the pond, and I know we are all very excited about the touch sensor. Thank you.
Well, there's nobody I'd rather spend a rainy night with, guys.
Thanks, man.
That is on the record.
That's right.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
All right. Stay something out there.
Stay something out there.